The warm rays of the morning sun slip through the window and gently fall across your face. Feeling the soft warmth on your skin, you slowly open your eyes. As you turn your head, you saw your cold husband, Taehyung, sleeping peacefully beside you. His face looked calm, making it hard to believe he was the same strict and distant man everyone knows. Without making any noise, you quietly get out of bed and walked into the bathroom. A little while later, after getting ready for the day, you stepped out and looked at Taehyung, who was still asleep. You walked closer to the bed and softly called his name. Wayan, Taehyung, it's time to wake up. Just that one gentle call was enough. You did not have to shake him or call his name again. He opened his eyes immediately, as if he had been trained to wake up at the very first sound. Even in his sleep, his disciplined habit never left him. Seeing that he was awoke, you gave him a small nod and quietly left the room. He walked downstairs to the kitchen and started preparing breakfast, just like every other morning. A few minutes later, Taehyung came downstairs, fully dressed and ready for work. Without saying a word, he pulled out a chair and sat at the dining table. You quietly served his breakfast before sitting across from him with your own plate. The house was completely silent. Neither of you spoke a single word while eating. It was not awkward anymore. It had simply become your daily routine. After finishing his breakfast, Taehyung stood up, picked up his coat and laptop, and walked towards the front door. Halfway there, he suddenly stopped. Still facing the door, he spoke in his usual cold tone. Taehyung, I have a meeting this evening. I might be late. And don't make dinner for me. I will eat outside. You gave a small nod, Wayan. Okay. With that, Taehyung walked out of the house and left for his company, while you quietly watched the door close behind him. After Taehyung left for work, you went back to your usual routine. Just like every day, you kept yourself busy with the household chores. Almost 2 hours later, everything was finally done. After having your lunch, you settled down on the couch in front of the TV. With nothing else to do, you turned your favorite K-drama and quietly started watching it, hoping it would make the long, lonely afternoon pass a little faster. A little while later, your phone suddenly rang. You picked it up and smiled when you saw the caller names. It was your best friend, Lisa. Wayan, hello? Lisa, hey, what's up? How are you? Wayan, I'm doing good. What's about you? Lisa, I'm good too. Anyways, tell me, are you free today? You let out a small laugh. Wayan, Lisa, I'm always free. Lisa, perfect. Then you are coming with us, no excuse. You looked confused. Wayan, coming? Where? Lisa, seriously, it's been 2 years since we graduated, and our whole friends group has not had a proper get-together even once. So I decided we are finally meeting today, nobody's allowed to cancel. A smile slowly appeared on your face, Ryan. Okay, but where are we meeting? Lisa, at Jungkook's place. Everyone's coming over around 5 p.m. Just meet us there. Before you could say anything else, Lisa spoke excitedly. Lisa, alright, see you this evening, darling. Bye. You could not help but smile, Ryan. Bye. The call ended and a bright smile spread across your face. For the first time in days, you felt genuinely excited. After all, it had been 2 years since your entire friend group had last met. You already know the evening would be filled with laughter, endless teasing, fun conversation, and countless memories. Just thinking about it was enough to lift your mood. Soon it was 4 p.m. After getting ready, you took one last look in the mirror, grabbed your bag, and left the house. A small smile played on your lips as you made your way to Jungkook's place, excited to see your friends after such a long time. By 10 p.m., Taehyung finally returned home. As soon as he reached the house, he noticed that the main door was locked. He entered the passcode and unlocked it before walking inside. The house was completely silent. Taehyung frowned. Taehyung smiled. It's this late? Where did Wayne go? He dropped his coat and laptop onto the couch before walking back outside. He looked at the security guard. Taehyung. Hey, listen. Did your name tell you where she was going? Security guard. No sir, ma'am did not tell me anything. Taehyung. When did she leave? Security guard. About 5 or 6 hours ago. A strange expression appeared on Taehyung's face. He looked slightly worried, but at the same time annoyed. Taehyung. Okay. He went back inside the house. Still wearing his usual cold expression, he quietly sat down on the couch. A few moments later, he picked up his phone and called your name. She rejected the call. He called again. She rejected it once more. A slight feeling of uneasiness crept into his heart. Without wasting another second, he called her again. This time, she answered. Vayan, hello. Taehyung, where are you? And why are you rejecting my calls? Vayan, you are home already? Taehyung, yeah, but where are you? Vayan, I'm at my friend's house. I'm leaving right now. I will be home soon. Taehyung, what are you doing there this late? The moment those words left his mouth, Taehyung heard Vayan's uneven breathing from the other end of the wall. Then a faint male voice could be heard in the background, but the words were not clear. A second later, Vayan hurriedly whispered, Vayan, wait, I'm on a call. Before Taehyung could say anything else, the call suddenly disconnected. Taehyung slowly lowered his phone. His expression instantly turned cold. His jaw clenched as countless thoughts rushed through his mind. Your name's nervous voice, the way she kept rejecting his call, and the strange sound he had just heard. None of it made sense. He did not want to believe what his mind was trying to tell him. But for the first time, a painful doubt quietly crept into his heart. Half an hour later, a car stopped outside the house. Jungkook dropped you off before driving away. From the bedroom balcony, Taehyung silently watched everything. His cold eyes followed the car until it disappeared from his sight. You took a deep breath before walking inside. The house was unusually quiet. Taehyung was not in the living room. Without thinking much, you quietly made your way upstairs. As soon as you opened the bedroom door, your steps came to a halt. Taehyung was sitting on the edges of the bed. He was still wearing his formal clothes, and the cold expression on his face made the entire room feel tense. The moment you walked in, his eyes slowly met yours. You were wearing a short dress. Taehyung stood up and walked towards you. Stopping just a few steps away, he spoke in a cold, calm but emotionless voice. Taehyung, where were you for the last 6 hours? Dressed like this? You nervously looked at him. Vayan, I was at my friend's house. Taehyung, which friend? Vayan, Jungkook. The moment Taehyung heard a man's name, something changed in his expression. His jaw tightened. Even though he tried to hide it, the anger inside him had already started building. He took another step closer. Taehyung, why did you go there? And why were you checking my pulse? Before you could answer, his eyes landed on your lips. The lipstick near the corner of your lips had smashed slightly. His expression darkened. Then his gaze slowly shifted to your neck. There was hickey marks on your skin. The moment he saw them, his patience snapped. He turned his face away, trying to control the anger burning inside him. You finally spoke, Vayan. I just went there to spend some time with my friends. Taehyung suddenly turned back. Taehyung, enough. His voice echoed through the room. You froze. In 6 months of marriage, you had never seen him this angry. Taehyung, how much longer are you going to lie to me? He looked at him in confusion. Vayan, what do you mean? His eyes were filled with disappointment. Taehyung, while I was working to build our future, you were busy with someone else. Your eyes widened. Vayan, what are you talking about? Without another word, Taehyung grabbed your wrist and pulled you in front of the mirror. His voice trembled with anger. Taehyung, look at yourself. He pointed towards your reflection. Do you have any idea what you have done? You remained silent. Taehyung, I told you I had been late tonight, and you took advantage of that. His voice grew cooler with every word. Taehyung, I can't believe you're my wife. Tears slowly gathered in your eyes, but you could not say a single word. Taehyung let out a bitter laugh. Taehyung, you love him, don't you? Silence. You simply lowered your head. Seeing your silence, his anger exploded. Taehyung, answer me, do you love him? His voice was loud enough to make you flinch, but still, you said nothing. Taehyung closed his eyes for a brief moment before speaking in a broken voice. Taehyung, fine. Your silence has already given me my answer. Unable to control his emotions anymore, he smashed his fist hard against the wall. A sharp pain shook through his hand, and blood slowly trickled down his knuckles. Without looking back, he walked to the door. The bedroom door smashed shut behind him. You stood there, completely stunned. Your heart was racing. You could not believe what was just happened. The man who had always been cold, the man who had never truly accepted you as his wife. After 6 months of marriage, for the very first time, he had called you his wife. But it happened only in the middle of his anger and heartbreak. Looking at your reflection in the mirror, you gently touched the marks on your neck. You still could not believe those marks had affected Taehyung this deeply. With trembling hands, you quickly called Jungkook. He answered almost immediately. Jungkook, hello. Ryan, Jungkook, everything has turned upside down. I think I should tell Taehyung the truth. Jungkook, first tell me what happened between you two. You told Jungkook everything that had happened. After listening quietly, he signed. Jungkook, your name, I don't think you should tell him anything right now. Your husband is really angry. If you tell him the truth at this moment, he might get even more upset. Let him calm down first, then explain everything to him. Ryan, oh, okay. You ended the call. For the next 2 minutes, you stood there thinking, but your heart refused to listen. You could not leave things like this. Determined to tell Taehyung the truth, you stepped out of the bedroom. As soon as you entered the hallway and looked downstairs, you froze. Taehyung was sitting alone on the couch in the living room. A glass of alcohol was in his hand. Your eyes widened in shock. In all these months of marriage, you had never seen Taehyung drinking before. You quickly ran downstairs to stop him. The moment you stood in front of him, Taehyung looked at you once, then turned his face away. Taehyung, why are you here? Ryan, why are you drinking? Without even looking at you, Taehyung replied in a cold, angry voice. Taehyung, get out of here. A painful silence followed. Then he spoke again. I don't want to see your face. I can't believe a disgusting, characterless woman like you is my wife. I regret the day I married you. The moment those words reached your ears, it felt as if your heart had shattered into countless pieces. You wanted to say something, but no words came out. Instead, tears silently rolled down your cheeks. For a brief moment, nothing of you moved. Then suddenly, Taehyung lost control. In anger, he threw the glass onto the floor. The sound of breaking glass echoed throughout the house. Without saying another word, he grabbed his car key and stormed out of the house. Seeing him leave, you somehow gathered the strength to follow him. You ran after him, hoping to stop him. But by the time you reached outside, it was already too late. In the darkness of the night, Taehyung had already driven away in his black car. Feeling completely helpless, you slowly walked back inside the house. Your legs felt weak as you made your way to the living room. You sat down on the couch, and the moment you did, you broke down. You cried uncontrollably, unable to hold back your emotions any longer. Every single word Taehyung had said felt like a knife piercing your heart. And how could it not? The man who was supposed to trust you, your own husband, had called you characterless. The pain was unbearable. That entire night you remained sitting on the couch, crying alone. Again and again, Taehyung's harsh words echoed in your mind. Get out of here. I don't want to see your face. I I can't believe a characterless woman like you is my wife. The more you remember these words, the harder it became to stop your tears. No matter how much you tried, they just would not stop. You did not even realize when your crying slowly turned into sleep. Curled up on the couch with tears still stand on your cheeks, you had fallen asleep. The next thing you know, the sound of the car stopping outside the house pulled you out of your light sleep. Your eyes slowly opened, and a few seconds later, the front door opened. Taehyung walked inside. His expression was just as cold as before. A set of papers was clutched tightly in his hand. Without saying a word, he walked straight towards you. As soon as he reached the coffee table, he slid the papers across it. They stopped right in front of you. His voice was cold, almost emotionless. Taehyung, sign them. Confused, you looked at the paper and then slowly looked back at him. Vayan, but, but what is this? The moment Taehyung looked at your face, his heart ached for a split second. Your swollen eyes, your pale face, it was obvious you had cried the entire night. For a brief moment, guilt flickered across his eyes, but the memories of what he had seen the previous night quickly took over. His expression turned cold once again. Taehyung, see for yourself. With trembling hands, you picked up the papers. The moment your eyes fell on the first page, your world crashed down. Divorce agreement. Your grip loosened. Tears instantly filled your eyes. Looking at Taehyung in disbelief, you whispered, Vayan, Taehyung, you want to divorce me? Taehyung, yes, you wanted this too, did not you? If you love someone else, then why stay in this marriage? I'm setting you free. So from now on, you would not have to sneak around behind my back just to meet your lover. Your tears would not stop. Vayan. Taehyung, please, don't do this. Just listen to me once, please. His face remained expressionless. Taehyung, there's nothing left to hear your name. You had already lost my trust. And if you still think I'm going to believe another one of your lies, you're wrong. So don't waste any more time. Just sign the papers. You cried even harder. Vayan. No, I will not sign them. How can you end our marriage like this? Taehyung's patience finally snapped. His voice echoed through the house. Taehyung, if you can cheat on your husband by having another man in your life, then I have every right to end this marriage. You immediately shook your head. Vayan. Taehyung, I never did anything you are accusing me of. He let out a bitter laugh. Taehyung, please your name. Stop trying to make a fool out of me. I saw everything with my own eyes, and I heard everything with my own ears. So don't stand here and tell me none of it was real. His eyes met yours. There was disappointment, anger, and pain. Taehyung, I can't breathe in this relationship anymore. I don't want to keep you as my wife for even one more moment. I'm ending this marriage today. And I don't want to listen anything from you. So sign the divorce paper and live my life. Taehyung's words completely broke you. You had never imagined that the most beautiful chapter of your life, your married life, would come to an end before it had even truly begun. Tears flowed endlessly from your eyes. With helpless eyes, you looked at the divorce papers. A single tear fell onto the page. Slowly, you closed your eyes. The memories of your wedding day flashed through your mind. The day you had become Taehyung's wife. Even with your eyes closed, the tears refused to stop. On the other hand, watching you crying like this was breaking Taehyung from the inside as well. It was slowly melting, but every time he remembered what he had seen the previous night, his anger returned. So, forcing himself to ignore his feelings, he turned his back to you. In his usual cold voice, he said, Taehyung, stop this emotional drama. I have already seen your true color. You wiped your tears before speaking. Vayan, if you really want to end this marriage, then fine. She took a shaky breath. But before I say papers, I want to say something. Without turning around, Taehyung replied, Taehyung, you have 5 minutes. Say whatever you want. With tears-filled eyes, he looked at his back and began speaking. Vayan, I don't know whether you believe me or not, but there's one thing I want you to know. I have only ever loved one person, you. The day we got married was the happiest day of my life. I had so many dreams. I dreamed of having a small happy family with you. A home filled with laughter, and one day, maybe even a little baby. A faint smile appeared on your lips before disappearing just as quickly. Vayan, but after our marriage, I realized how cold you were. So cold that your silence pulled a wall between us. Because of that wall, I never had the courage to tell you how I felt. She wiped another tear from her cheek. Vayan, but today I will tell you. I know you don't love me, and maybe you never will. But the only man who has ever had a place in my heart is you. I have only loved you, and I will keep loving you until my very last breath. Silence filled the room. With trembling hands, you picked up the pen. Just as you were about to sign the papers, a warm hand suddenly wrapped around your wrist. You looked up in surprise. The moment your eyes met Taehyung's, you froze. His eyes were filled with tears. You could not believe it. The man who had always hidden every emotion, the man who always looked so cold, was crying. Taehyung slowly lifted his gaze from your hand to your eyes. His eyes were still wet. They held anger, pain, and regret, all at the same time. Without looking away, he asked in a low voice, Taehyung, what's the truth? You gave a heart-breaking smile. Vayan, what's the point to telling you now? You have already decided that I am characterless. You have already decided to divorce me. For a few seconds, neither of you spoke. Taehyung kept staring into your eyes. His face remained cold, but the tear in his eyes battered every emotion he was trying too hard to hide. In a firm voice, he repeated, I asked you. He tightened his grip on your wrist just a little. What's the truth? For 2 long seconds, you simply looked into Taehyung's eyes. Then, taking a deep breath, you finally spoke. Vayan, everything you saw last night was planned. The moment those words left your mouth, Taehyung instantly let go of your wrist and took a step back. He stood there, staring at you in disbelief. Slowly, one of his eyebrows lifted. His voice was filled with confusion. Taehyung, what? A brief silence followed, then he frowned. What do you mean? Why? Yesterday, Lisa called me and said that our college friend group should finally have a get together. It's been 2 years since we graduated, and none of us had met since then. Everyone agreed, and we decided to meet at Jungkook's house. We were all talking and having fun. Then, out of nowhere, Lisa took out a few sticker tattoos. Since I was the only married one in our friend group, she stuck those stickers on my neck. They were lip-shaped stickers, so everyone started teasing me by taking your name. Taehyung remained silent. His eyes stayed fixed on you. You continued, Ryan. But Taehyung frowned. But what? When they saw my face, they all got confused. They were teasing me because they thought we had a normal married life. But only I know that nothing like that had ever happened between us. A painful smile appeared on her lips. Ryan. Jungkook noticed that I suddenly went quiet, so he asked me why I looked so upset. I could not hide it anymore, so I told everything the truth. I told them what our relationship was really like. Taehyung looked at you for a few seconds before asking, Taehyung, it means Jungkook is just your friend. You nodded, Ryan. Yes, he's my college friend, not my lover. Silence filled the room. After a few seconds, you continued. Ryan, we were talking so much that none of us realized how late it had become. And when everyone started leaving, I removed those stickers from my neck. But my skin is very sensitive. The glue from those stickers reacted with my skin. That's why these red marks appeared. You gently touched your neck. Your eyes made things. Bayan. The marks you are calling hickey, they are nothing more than a skin allergy. Taehyung's expression turned even colder. Taehyung, your name. You are lying to me again. He took a step closer. Taehyung, a few seconds ago, you said everything had happened last night was planned. And now, you are telling me it was all just a normal incident. He let out a bitter laugh. Taehyung, how I am supposed to believe you? His voice grew sharper with every word. Taehyung, and it's not just those marks on your neck. Your lipstick was smashed. You were talking to me like you were scared. Your breathing was not normal. You came home late at night. He paused for a moment before adding, and the biggest thing? His eyes slowly scanned the dress you were wearing. Taehyung, you were wearing a mini dress. You had never worn something like that before. He looked straight into your eyes, Taehyung. So tell me your name. How I am supposed to believe that all of that was just a coincidence? Tears continued to roll down your cheeks. You looked at Taehyung with trembling eyes. Ryan, no, it was not coincidence. It really was planned. Taehyung frowned but remained silent. He took a deep breath before continuing. Ryan, when I removed those stickers from my neck, the red marks had already appeared. I was shocked at first because they looked exactly the way you thought they did. But then, Jenny suddenly came up with an idea. She said I should show those marks to my cold husband, just to see how he would react. She wanted to know whether you really loved me or not. You lowered your gaze, Bayan. At first, I refused, but everyone kept insisting. They said this would be the only way to find out what was really hidden behind your cold behavior. A tear slipped down your cheek, Bayan. To make everything look real, Lisa told me not to come home earlier. She said I should leave late at night, and because it was already very late, Jungkook only dropped me home for my safety. He did not come with me because he was my lover. He was just making sure I got home safely. You looked straight into Taehyung's eyes, Bayan. The dress I wore when I left home was not this one. I was wearing a long dress. Lisa asked me to exchange dresses with her so that when you saw me in a mini dress, your suspicion would become even stronger. Your voice cracked, Bayan, and then, luckily, you called me. Jungkook told me to act nervous, to speak as if I was scared, and to pretend my breathing was uneven. You slowly closed your eyes, Bayan. Even the whisper you heard on the call. And when I said, wait, I'm on a call, that was all part of the plan. You looked at them with tear-filled eyes, Bayan. We did all of that for one reason, because I wanted to know whether there was anything hidden behind your cold behavior, whether you loved me, or whether I was the only one holding on to this marriage. Silence filled the room. Not a single word came out of Taehyung's mouth. He simply stood there, staring at you. For the first time, his mind started replaying every single moment from last night. The way you kept trying to explain yourself, the way you cried without defending yourself, the way you never once blamed him, everything suddenly began making sense. His eyes slowly drifted towards the marks on your neck again. This time, he did not see them as hickeys. He saw them as the reason behind the biggest mistake of his life. A wave of guilt crashed over him. He clenched his fist slowly, loosened. His breathing became heavier. After a long silence, he finally spoke. His voice was no longer as firm as before. Taehyung, so you did all of this just to find out whether I loved you? You lowered your head. A tear rolled down your cheek. Bayan. Yes, I know it was childish. I know I should not have done it. But I was tired, Taehyung. Tired of not knowing what I mean to you. You were always so cold. You never smiled at me. You never got angry because of me. You never cared where I went. You never asked how my day was. So for 6 months, I kept wondering, does my husband even have a place for me in his heart? Another silence followed. Taehyung slowly closed his eyes. Your every word pierced his heart. He realized it was not only Bayan who had suffered in this marriage. His silence, his cold behavior had hurt her every single day. He slowly opened his eyes again. For the first time, there was no anger left in them, only regret. He looked at the divorce papers laying on the table, then at your tear-stained face. Broken voice, he asked, Taehyung, if all of this was just a test, then tell me one thing. If I had not reacted, if I had not been jealous, if I had acted the same cold way, would you still have stayed with me? Tears blurred your vision. You slowly looked up at Taehyung. A sad smile appeared on your face. Bayan, I would have stayed. Taehyung looked at you in silence. Bayan, I did not marry you expecting your love. I married you hoping that one day maybe you had accept me. I never wanted a perfect husband. I just wanted you. Her voice trembled. Bayan, even if you had stayed cold forever, stayed by your side, because I made a promise to myself on our wedding day that no matter how difficult this marriage become, I would never give up on you. The moment those words left your mouth, Taehyung felt completely silent. He could not say a single word. A deep sense of regret washed over him. For the first time, he truly realized what he had done. Without saying anything, he quietly reached for the divorce paper laying on the table. He watched him in confusion. Second, he tore the papers in tiny pieces, scattered across the floor. He stood there completely stunned. After a long silence, Taehyung slowly looked up at you. But the moment your eyes met, he lowered his eyes again. It was as if he no longer considered himself worthy to look into your eyes. His voice was low, filled with guilt. I'm sorry. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know every word I said hurt you so much that you cried all night because of me. He paused, struggling to continue. Taehyung, now that I know the truth, I regret everything I did. I regret every assumption. I regret every harsh word I said to you. I know I'm not worthy to being forgiven, but if it's possible, please forgive me. He finally gathered the courage to look into your eyes. And from today, I will try to become the husband you had wanted from the very beginning. Hearing those words, you went completely silent. For a few seconds, you simply stood there, looking at Taehyung. The pain that had been waiting on your heart since last night finally began to fade. Listening to Taehyung's sincere apologies brought an unexpected sense of peace to your heart. The burden you had been carrying all the time slowly started to lift. A faint smile appeared on your face through your tears, not because you had forgotten the pain, but because for the first time the man you loved had finally understood your feelings. Taehyung, stop crying. I'm not divorcing you. I will accept it that I was the one who was wrong, not you. And if you keep crying like this, your eyes will only get worse. He pointed towards the bathroom. Taehyung, go, wash your face. After saying that, Taehyung turned around and started walking away. The small smile on your face instantly disappeared. Without even thinking, you quickly reached out and grabbed his hand from behind. Taehyung immediately stopped. He slowly turned around. The moment he noticed you were holding his hand, a hint of awkwardness crossed his face. When you realized what you had done in your panic, you also felt embarrassed because you had never held Taehyung's hand before. Taehyung looked down at your hand holding his. Then he slowly looked into your eyes. Taehyung, what's wrong? You quickly let go of his hand. Lowering your gaze, you spoke softly. Bayan, I want to ask you something. Taehyung nodded. What? Please don't think that just because we are married, you are forcing to stay with me. Don't treat me like a responsibility. If you don't love me, please tell me honestly, Taehyung. I will never force you to stay in this marriage. And if you truly don't want this marriage, you don't need to look for a reason to divorce me. Taehyung frowned. Taehyung, why are you saying this? A tear slipped down your cheek. Why? Because it's been 6 months since we got married, and yet our relationship has never been like a normal husband and wives. You had never tried to get close to me. You had never even talked to me properly. You paused, trying to hold back your tears. Yes, what happened yesterday was planned, but after everything that happened, I can't stop thinking that maybe there really is not any place of me in your heart. You were ready to divorce me without giving me even a chance to explain. You questioned my character without thinking for a second about how much those words would hurt me. And before even knowing the truth, you had the divorce paper prepared overnight. Your voice trembled. Looking straight into his eyes, you asked, Vayan, tell me honestly, Taehyung, am I really a burden to you? Do you really feel suffocated whenever I am around? Taehyung closed his eyes for a moment and let out a deep sigh. When he opened them again, he looked at you and shook his head. Taehyung, you know, people really are not wrong. Beautiful girls seriously don't have a brain. You frowned. Vayan, what? Ignoring your reaction, Taehyung pointed towards the couch. Taehyung, come here, sit. Still confused, you quietly sat down. A second later, Taehyung sat beside you. For a few moments, neither of you said anything. Then he finally spoke. Taehyung, look your name. Maybe you don't know this about me yet, but let me tell you something. My things, my people, they are mine. I can't share what's mine with anyone else. Either they are completely mine or not mine at all. He looked straight into your eyes, Taehyung, and you are seriously too innocent. I got jealous, I got angry, I almost lost my mind, and even after all that, you still could not figure out that I love you. He shook his head with a faint smile. Taehyung, of course I love you. Why else do you think I reacted like that? If I did not love you, I would have never cared about those marks. I would have never lost my temper. I would have never spent the whole night thinking about it. He looked down at his hands. Taehyung, and about the divorce papers. When I asked you if you loved him, you did not answer. You just stood there quietly, so I thought maybe you really loved him, and maybe I was the one stopping you from being with the person you wanted. I did not want to keep you trapped in a marriage where your heart belonged to someone else. So I got the divorce paper ready. You stared at him without blinking. After a few seconds, he continued, Taehyung, as for why I stayed away from you for 6 months, he suddenly stopped. Then he shook his head. No, I can't tell you that. You immediately turned towards him. Bayan, why not? Taehyung scratched the back of his neck awkwardly. Taehyung, just leave it. Not everything needs to be said. And honestly, I have no idea how you will react after hearing it. You moved a little closer to him. Bayan, I don't care how I will react. I have been waiting 6 months to hear it. So please, tell me. I want to know what's really hidden behind your cold face. Taehyung, actually, The reason I never got close to you was. He paused for a second before continuing. Before our wedding, the first time I saw you, something happened to me. You looked so beautiful, so gorgeous, so pretty that every time I looked at you, I had completely lost my composure. I had got nervous, and all I wanted was to. You looked at him curiously. Bayan wanted to. What? Taehyung awkwardly looked away. Taehyung, hold you in my arms and kiss you. I know this probably sounded weird, but that's just how I am. I'm not the type of person who keeps saying, baby, I love you, or my darling. In fact, I don't even know how to express my love with words. I had always been someone who expressed love through actions. He looked back at you, Taehyung. But I never did any of that with you because you look so innocent, so pure. I was afraid I had made you uncomfortable, so I wanted to give you time, so you could slowly get used to me. But the problem was, every time I looked at you, I found it harder to control my feelings. So, to make sure you never felt awkward around me, I started avoiding looking at you. I even avoided talking to you. A helpless smile appeared on his face, Taehyung. Unfortunately, I never realized that my silence was slowly building a wall between us. I'm really sorry, your name. I never wanted to push you away. I was only trying to protect your comfort while hiding my own feelings. But without realizing it, I ended up hurting the person I loved the most. Hearing all that, a sense of peace finally settled in your heart. In a soft voice, you said, Bayan, okay, whatever happened was just a misunderstanding. We should forget everything and move forward. A small smile appeared on your face. You stood up from the couch and turned to leave for bedroom. But the moment you took a step, Taehyung, your name, you stopped. He could see your smile was not real. You had forgiven him, but the pain in your heart was still there. Taehyung stood up and slowly walked towards you. His voice was gently this time. Taehyung, I know the thing I said yesterday hurt you more than I can imagine. I'm truly sorry for every single word. If there's anything I can do to make you up for it, I will do it. You lowered your gaze. You were tired. You had not slept all night. Your eyes were swollen from crying. In a tired voice, you replied, Bayan, no, I don't want to punish you. Everything is clear between us. That's enough for me. After saying that, you turned around again. But before you could take another step, Taehyung gently held your hand. You looked back in surprise, but the next second, he softly pulled you in a little closer. Before you could even understand what was happening, he gently cupped your face. You froze. Taehyung looked into your eyes for a moment, as if silently asking for permission. When you did not pull away, a small smile appeared on his face. He slowly leaned closer and placed a gentle kiss on your lips. It lasted only a brief moment, but it carried every feeling he had failed to express over the past 6 months. When he pulled back, both of you simply looked into each other's eyes. A smile slowly appeared on your lips, Taehyung. Our first kiss. So, do you believe me now? Do you finally believe that I really love you? You smiled shyly, Bayan. You always thought I was too innocent, but I'm not. Taehyung raised an eyebrows. Really? You nodded with a smile. Yes. And being this close to you does not make me uncomfortable. It never will. He gently held his cheek, because no matter which side of you I see, I love every part of you. Taehyung rested his forehead against yours and smiled. Taehyung, I was already crazy about your beauty, but today I think I had fallen for you all over again. You smiled through your tears. Really? Taehyung, and next time, if you want to know whether your husband loves you or not, just ask me. Don't scare me to death with another plan like this. You could not help but laugh, Bayan, but only if you promise not to prepare divorce papers overnight again. Young signed dramatically. Young, deal. But you also promise no more pranks idea from Lisa. You giggled, Bayan. I will try. Taehyung narrowed his eyes playfully. You will try? Bayan. Okay, I promise. Both of you burst into laughter. The misunderstanding that almost ended your marriage ended up becoming the reason your love story began.